Students of Reddit, what is your best school life hack? Find time to get some exercise in. All of that grab and go fast food catches up to you fast. You got fat as fuck in college and have since lost all that weight. I wish I made time to at least squeeze in a 30 minutes workout every other day. For math physics majors, learn how to use LaTeX early. It will save you a ton of time in the long run, and you'll need to know it for grad school anyway. I personally recommend LIX https://www.lix.org for problem sets, since it helps to see what you're writing live. Also, learning how to use Mathematica really well saved me countless times when I wasn't smart enough to do the math by hand. This is an unethical and specific one, but it worked wonders. One of the vending machines at school accepted Yu-Gi-Oh cards as dollar bills. Edit, thanks for the gold, stranger. I turned off my phone for a small nap and come back to this. Edit 2, for those wondering, I found out from a friend. Quizlet is pretty great. If you have lazy teachers, Google a direct quote from a worksheet or assignment, and you can sometimes find teaching resources and answers online. My classmate took up a strict 9 to 5 school schedule, right from the first semester. Every day, he'd work 9 to 5. He was either in class, working on homework, or studying if he got everything done. At 5 p.m., he'd pack up his stuff and was done for the day. He had all his homework done way ahead of schedule and never had to pull all-nighters or waste weekends on homework. He was never stressed out or anything like that because he'd spent time studying when he wasn't slammed with homework. I could never manage it because I'd rather procrastinate and start 3 hours before it was due, but it seemed like the best way to do it. Edit, to answer the flood of questions. This was in computer programming. We did get projects estimated at like 60 hours a week later in the cows. But by then he was so far ahead of everyone else that he could start working on them as soon as they were assigned and knew the content so well that he still didn't have to work outside his core hours. While I was pulling multiple all-nighters in the lab trying to catch up. Yes, you might need more time based on your program. The point is to get into a routine and use your time effectively. He didn't have a job because school is affordable where I live, and we were in a co-op program where you work every other semester and can save up some money. But he did take contract work to do in the evenings, weekends for some cash, and would have had every night and weekends to work if he wanted to do so. If you need to participate in group discussion but aren't sure about the material, ask intelligent questions instead of trying to answer what you don't get. It'll buy you time and you'll still be participating. See the professorta during their office hours if you need extra help understanding something. No one comes to office hours and they're usually really happy to help. For all my fellow commuters out there, meal prep. You will save so much money by making some rice and chicken at home instead of buying some food every day. I used to buy Subway twice a week as I was at school for a long time of those days. I just started to do meal prep and I feel so much better about not spending that much money anymore. Browse the textbook before the lecture, or at least skim the introduction and the section headings. It's a lot easier to remember information if you walk into the classroom with a little bit of context. Before exam, make a copy of all the material you have to know, but change it in the way you would explain it. It helps a lot to learn the subject. Get enough sleep. Seriously. I know it's hard. I know there's not enough hours in the day. But if you're gonna cut anything, it shouldn't be sleep. Don't spend your school time on Reddit, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. As someone who just graduated college, do yourself a favor and actually go to class. You're paying for the chair. If you're in the US and there is research on a correlation between greater absences, greater likelihood to fail a course. I know you hate the class, but go. I might literally be begging. Peanut butter can be a meal. Do not leave things to be done just before the deadline. Do it ahead of time, if possible, so you avoid unnecessary stress. Helps me survive. Also, learn how to manage your time well. Treat it like a 9 to 5 job. You'll get so much work done, and won't have any feeling of guilt during time off. Engineering, attend class and pay attention to the examples. It's fairly silly, but it was indispensable to me in college. Especially for my English minor, paste your syllabi in a very visible location in your home. And write down all of your major due dates on a whiteboard. There's a lot of shit that goes in college, so it's really easy to forget sometimes what you have to read or what papers you have to do. Especially for non-math courses, your assignments will be due in spurts, and it's definitely not as easy to remember as a weekly problem set. So it's best to just have all your assignments easily visible. It pays dividends. You've got to play the meta game. If you're lazy and unorganized like me, You won't have time to properly study for everything and complete every assignment. That's when you look at the grade distribution and start with the items that are worth the most. All my college student friends out there, make sure to give yourself enough time to sleep every day. Get a little exercise when you can. It helps relieve stress and works to counter all the cup-o noodles you're likely chowing down on. Personal hygiene is huge. Shower every day, brush your teeth, wash your hands. It'll make you happier, and believe me when I say that people can absolutely tell when you don't do these things, regardless of how well you try to mask it with deodorant gum. It may be tempting to relax first and wait to do projects papers later before they are due, but if you do the opposite you will find that there is way less stress involved. Meal prep is a great way to make sure you are eating well while saving as much time as possible during the week. Talk to your instructors. Get to know them. Their advice can be invaluable in knowing what they expect in the classwork and homework, and after you graduate you will want to ask them for letters of recommendation for jobs. If you don't have a relationship with them, they are less likely to give you one. Likewise, talk with your classmates. Lifelong friends are made in college, sometimes in the most unlikely circumstances. Classes. I was a history major and met one of my best friends in a seminar class about genocide. We went out for ice cream and watched cartoons after each class to cheer ourselves up. And now 9 years later we still meet up once a week for ice cream. Remember that no matter how stressed you get, how hopeless things may seem when the world seems to be putting you under as much pressure as possible, there are always people out there who care and who want to help you. Most colleges have student counselors who you can talk with for free and get things off your chest. The college where I work also has a Zen den where you can go to relax, sit quietly in a beanbag chair or hammock, and just get away from things for a minute. Chances are yours may have similar resources for students. And finally, always remember you are loved. You are enough. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are irreplaceable. If you're nervous about presenting something or speaking out loud because you're forced to, just know that the majority of students around you feel the same way as you, if not worse. That always helped me get over the fear of talking out loud. Wikipedia not working? Type 0 in front of the W and hit enter. Now you have Wiki 0. All Wikipedia format, just on a different site. Laminate your notes so the tears just roll off. Not OC. On a serious note, this is kind of shitty, but once I left my charger at the library and it wasn't at the lost and found, so I came back a few hours later when a different person was working and asked if they have found a white Apple phone charger, which I saw that they had earlier, and they just gave me this charger. Lost a charger and got a new one for free. Edit another tip: try not to buy books from the bookstore. You buy more expensive books, and then when you sell them back, the store will only give you 30% if it's actually value for it. Then they will resell the same book for 100% of the price next semester. I've been able to find all of my textbooks as a PDF file online. Do your homework at lunch. I do it in high school, and now I have so much time to masturbate and not have a social life. Teacher here, but I work with hundreds of students every day. Here's the 100% best school hack ever. Ask questions. If you're confused about something, ask. If you forgot something, ask. If you need something explained again or in a different way, ask. Ask, ask, ask. Teachers choose the job they are in because they want to educate. We aren't doing it for the hours, the pay, the prestige, the summers off, or the joy of working with apathetic children and their angry parents. We stay in the career because we want to make the future generations better than those that came before. Most of the time, we can't help you if you don't let us know you need help. Ask, 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 and ask some more. If the teacher doesn't want to help you, keep asking around until you find someone who will. Also, learn to ask good questions. Don't just say "I don't get it," because that's not a question and the teacher, or whomever you are asking, has nothing specific to go on. Instead, say, "What do you mean by these directions?" Or "What am I supposed to do here?" That helps narrow down where your struggles are and lets the teacher zero in on how best to help you. TLDR, ask questions. Don't pull an all-nighter. It'll be easier to get up early and continue the next day at it. Don't wait till the night before to start the project assignment. If you still have 2 to 3 days till it's due, cut yourself off at 10 to 11. If you've waited till the night before, you've fucked yourself, and do what you want. Go to the same school and have the same teachers as your perfect brother and perfect sister. You will skate by and get special treatment, and leave high school with a false sense of entitlement and ability. Throw yourself into the course. Network like a maniac. Help out on projects that are tied to professional businesses. Volunteer. Long gone are the days of being paid to start the best band in the world. You are paying for a service, so get the most out of it. Or don't go and get a job instead. Master that, make cash money, train and get qualifications. Or fuck about with a minimum wage job, do the festivals, travel, hike up mountains and camp under the stars, join the greatest band in the world or learn to paint. Do something while you learn what you really want to do. Mostly, wear sunscreen. If you want to use Wikipedia when writing an academic essay, just cite the sources that Wikipedia cites. Not only does it reduce your workload a lot, but it makes it look like you've done a ton of reading during your research, which your professor will be really impressed by. My grades get better the more I go to class. It's really weird. Put your phone away completely when studying. The biggest issue I had in school was getting distracted by Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, text messages, emails, etc. There was always something going off and I'd spent 10 minutes in my phone, add it down, get a notification and waste another 10 minutes. Sleep more than you study, study more than you socialize, socialize as much as possible. Read this on Reddit actually, but I can't remember the source. Put cheese in a glue stick as a snack for later. Consolidate each syllabus into a single calendar. I am lazy and I suck at working ahead. 1 hour up front saved my ass so many times. You probably have 3 exams on the same day during week 8. Figure that shit out now. Also, read your textbook before class. It will lead to less time studying overall and better grades. The lazy woman reads the chapter before class. It is wisdom, not smarts. You will understand more and have questions in class. Try and cook a meal a day, or cook once for lunch for the next 3 days. It saves so much money, plus is a great way to feel productive when you don't feel like studying. It's not that hard as well, cooking is mostly waiting for water to boil, that's all. Record lectures on your phone and listen to them while studying for tests. So many times in lectures you get so caught up in taking notes that you completely miss things the professor says. I've picked up on so many things that I totally missed in the notes but heard the professor say it in the recording. Also takes pressure off you to take crazy fast notes. Download the mark schemes used for past papers and pick apart what the examiner is looking for as revision. Most exam boards in the UK, for GCSEs at least, used to be fairly easy to come by. Not sure if that is still the case. If the teacher uses PowerPoint, and assuming it's not automatically online somewhere, perhaps ask for a copy of the presentation. Some teachers are willing to hand out copies of their own lesson notes break, depending on level subject how nice they are, which I found really helpful. If you've got a big project, don't leave it to the last minute, especially in subjects where time management is graded to a level P level 3 tech in particular. Photomath is more of an homework thing, still useful when you're lazy. Study hygiene. It's like sleep hygiene, but for class. 1. Schedule the time to study. Schedule it during times you won't feel resentful or sleepy, all that you will focus. Scheduling downtime during your life will help. 2. Have a study plan for all the material you need to go over and how you plan to review it. Are you just reading the book today? Doing practice questions? Etc. 3. Pick an environment where you will be comfortable, not distracted, and not sleepy. Your bed is comfy, but you may feel more tired or have trouble sleeping later if you develop the association. Play rain sounds or white noise. Have healthy snacks on hand. 4. Take frequent breaks so you don't overload your brain or get too bored to retain things. 20 minutes on, 5 minutes off x3, then 20 to 30 break to rest or take a walk. 5. Whatever time you choose to study, rest first. Even if it's last-minute study time the night before the test. Go to bed early for half the night at least, then get up early to study. Your brain retains better when it's not exhausted. I often go to bed for 4-5 hours, study for 3 to 4, go back to bed for 3 to 4-5 hours, study for 3 to 4 hours, then go test. At no point during or after an all-night study session am I sleepy. 6. Why 3 to 4? 5. A sleep cycle is approximately 1-5 hours. If you wake up between sleep cycles, you are likely to be less tired than waking up on the middle. Time your sleep periods for enough time to fall asleep, then enough time to be asleep in increments of 1-5 hours. I find 3 to 4-5 most satisfying. If you can't eliminate lights in your space to sleep, wear a bandana around your eyes or something. I find it really makes a difference. 7. Don't have large meals if you study overnight. Have small snacks. Also, limit the caffeine so that you are able to rest. Have caffeine as you wake up, not to stay awake, because if you are struggling to stay awake, you'll get better results from another sleep period. That's pretty much it. This method has worked extremely well for me. Slater.com has every answer to most textbooks. It also shows you how to do the problems. Go to class and answer questions, and your professor will go out of their way if you ever need their help. Former student here. Since leaving school, I've looked back and realized that the best, most useful hack that I never utilized is work hard, study, and take it seriously. Even if you don't go to college, learn a trade. Set your future self up for success. Long walks with hand-drawn and colored flashcards was the only way I was able to study. By doing not sitting and reading.